Today is July 10th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganast St. Louis Acura. I am Joe Roderick, joined from Bob Ramsey, coming to us live from the Jewel of Midtown, where SLU basketball already getting underway, huh?
Yeah, I saw the women practice a little earlier this morning, and the men are underway over in the arena, or
Nice.
in the pavilion, I should say. And so, yeah, it's kind of taking a look ahead to see what we have.
Very nice. The Cardinals will have a busy day today down at Busch Rammer. Of course, no show yesterday. We were washed out early as we got word that the game was going to be rained out and made up as a doubleheader today. So you have a doubleheader today, an off day on Thursday, and then a doubleheader again coming up on Saturday when the Cubs are in town. So the Cardinals, we talked on Monday about the weird schedule this week with being on the road on Monday and then back for this. It gets even weirder with the day off Tuesday, 2 games today and a game tomorrow. Talking with Claibs yesterday, just saying there was absolutely, because both teams, both the Cardinals and the Royals, had Thursday off. Neither one has a game on Thursday. He said absolutely no way. He said the players would have. He said they would have revolted if they would have taken away their Thursday off day, and not let them have that. So playing 2 today, I guess for Major League Ball players, a much better scenario than taking away a day off.
But not for a manager.
Right.
Because trying to manipulate the bullpen, again, not just for today, but for the doubleheader on Saturday. It's not an insurmountable problem, but it is one of those deals where you need things to break your way so you don't have a mess on your hands.
Yeah. First game today is at 12:45. Second game later tonight at 6:45. The Cardinals already have announced that not only are they bringing up Gordon Graceffo to be their 27th man for the doubleheader today, Gordon Graceffo is going to start game 2 of the series today. So I haven't seen yet. I haven't looked to see any of the media members that are there, if the locker room has been opened, if there's anybody else in the locker room that we might see in game 2. I wonder if there will be any kind of roster manipulation before that, because if Graceffo is the 27th man, you're not using him in game 1 if he's your starter for game 2. Is there somebody else to maybe activate and send down between the games if things get out of hand, or if you have to use somebody longer than expected for that game 2 tonight?
Yeah, what's interesting is, and I'm sure they considered every option, but could you have used Graceffo in game 1, send him back, on paper, send him back to Memphis and have another guy for your bullpen in game 2?
I don't think it works that way. I think because he's your 27th man for the game today,
you can't really replace him.
He's only a 1-day deal.
Yeah.
That way, when he does get sent back down as a pitcher, he doesn't have to wait 15 days to be called back up. Essentially, if he only goes 3 or 4 innings today on Wednesday, you could actually call him back up again on Saturday and make him your 27th man and have him out of the bullpen again on Saturday,
point.
if that's the case. So game 1, it's Andre Palante on the mound. He's going up against Alec Marsh, 6-6 with a 4.57 ERA this year for the Royals. He's a righty. For game 2, it'll be former first-round pick for the Cardinals, Michael Wacha, going for the Royals against Gordon Graceffo in the game later on tonight. Cardinals did announce, as we sit here and we talk about kind of manipulating and working your way around the schedule this weekend, the Cardinals have announced the weekend starters in the game for today. So initially, Rammer, today was supposed to be Sonny Gray's day. Today was supposed to be a Sonny Gray start. If they played yesterday, it would have been Palante and then Gray today. So you're actually giving him another day off, another rest in all of this. So they have announced that Sonny Gray is going to be starting the game on Friday against the Cubs. And then you're going Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson on Saturday in that doubleheader. And then Miles Michaelis on Sunday for the final game before the All-Star break. So they have already come out and announced who is going to be pitching this weekend. and what the rotation is going to look like from here on out until the All-Star break. So that kind of gives you more insight as to why Graceffo is there. And it should be of note, no Matthew Libator not getting another start before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that is interesting and a little bit surprising. I think probably for the moment, and I'm not saying for anything moving forward, but for the moment, between now and Sunday, he probably has more value out of the bullpen.
Yeah, you could probably use him twice
at
least in these next 6 games rather than just one start. Lineups are out for the 12:45 game. Starts in about an hour and a half from now. For the Cardinals, Mason Wynn is at short, Alec Burleson in right, Wilson Contreras DH's game 1, Paul Goldschmidt at first, Brendan Donovan in left, Nolan Arenado is at third, batting 6th, Lars Nootbaar batting 7th in center field, Nolan Gorman is at second, and Pedro Pages is behind the plate. For the Royals, Miguel Garcia is at second. Bobby Witt Jr., the All-Star and Home Run Derby participant, is at short. Vinny Pasquantino at first. Sal Perez is behind the plate. Hunter Renfroe in right. Freddie Fermin is DHing. MJ Melendez in left. Nick Lofton at third. And Garrett Hampson is in center field for the Royals. Did I hear you say at some point in that Cardinal lineup today?
Yeah, I think with center field and Ciani not in there, and they're probably just splitting it up. And it's always interesting to see a manager's strategy. Do you go with the A-B lineup, or do you kind of mix and match? So it's interesting to me to see how they're playing that today with Ciani out of the lineup. It hurts your defense up the middle, we'll see it play out. I just think those kind of things are interesting and the reasoning that goes into them.
A little more eye-opening is the fact that Lars Nootbaar is getting the start in center field, because if you remember, last year, Lars Nootbaar, in 22, Lars Nootbaar, center fielder. In 23, Lars Nootbaar, center fielder for Team Japan, ended up being a center fielder for the Cardinals until he kind of got moved to the corner outfield. And you were kind of under the impression going into the start of this season that Lars Nootbaar was not going to be a center fielder for this team. And now you're seeing his second game back. He's in center field for the Cardinals today.
Well, there's a number of things that go into that. One, you thought Victor Scott was going to do it, or Tommy Edman, right? So with Scott in the minors, Edman on apparently a forever DL, and then the emergence of Ciani, you got one true center fielder. So if you give him a day, even a half a day off like today, you got to have somebody play center field.
The Tommy Edman will be playing 5 innings in center field today in Springfield. So he is playing baseball. He is in uniform. He is taking reps. He is hitting from both sides of the plate. The Tommy Edman rehab tour has begun. Start the clock on it. We will see when the Cardinals decide that he is ready or that time runs out and they are forced to bring him up to St. Louis. Yep. And then we play mix and match and kind of determine where in the field he plays after that.
He had a highlight last night that's both good and bad. Hitting from the left side, fastball up in his eyes, and he slapped it into left field. You say, hey, took the high fastball the other way. Yeah, he took a double-A fastball the other way. We all know that his swings and misses at the high heater in the big leagues was a problem. I think everyone would agree with that. So he had a good result last night at double-A. Does that translate? So you see what I'm talking about with a good and a bad in one moment.
Those double-A fastballs don't seem to move as much as those major league fastballs. They don't have just the little half inch of movement here and there that you see in the big league level. It's for a major league hitter like Tommy Edman, you would hope that he's able to sit there and do that. So Riley O'Brien also throwing live batting practice today as we kind of look around at all of the injured Cardinals and try to figure out where they fall. With Wilson Contreras DHing in game 1, you expect him to be the catcher in game 2 for Gordon Graceffo. kind of opens up a lot of different options for who DHs in game 2. You have, Matt Carpenter with a possible start there. Brandon Crawford hasn't played in about a week now, I feel like. Does Lars Nootbaar continue to get at bats and you DH him? There's a lot, or Alec Burleson, maybe you get Goldschmidt or Arenado off their feet and just let it. There are a lot of different ways you could go with that, but who really needs the rest when you didn't play yesterday and you don't play tomorrow either, and you have the All-Star break coming up? So you mentioned an A lineup and a B lineup. I don't know if we're there right now with the upcoming break.
Yeah, you should want to grind to get to the end of this first half, the unofficial first half. So it will be interesting to see how they play that. And I've talked a little bit about it. Just one of the little, my little lineup peccadillos. I still think this lineup top to bottom would be stronger with Donovan 2 and Burleson 4. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to beat that dead horse. They've been successful with Burleson in the 2-hole. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Royals come in 49-43 on the year. They went out. They were very aggressive this offseason, going out and signing a lot of players, not high caliber players, no top tier guys. They weren't going after any of the Boris clients that waited until April to sign. They went out there, much like the Cardinals did when the Cardinals went out and signed Gibson and Lynn right away. They went out there and they got a lot of veteran guys to put on their roster and help some of the young stars. And, you also have one of the probably best veteran leaders in any clubhouse in baseball, in Salvador Perez, also in the locker room too for the Royals. They went out there and they were pretty serious about putting together a contending team this year. And now they sit 6 games over 500 right now. And Michael Wacha has been pretty serviceable. We'll see him in game 2 tonight. A very different Royals organization putting together a team that they felt could make a playoff run.
Yeah, they're kind of fun to watch. Like so many teams in the big leagues, bottom half of the lineup can be suspect, but the top half is not only good, but dangerous if you have to face them. And Bobby Witt is worth the price of admission. What a marvelous player he is, with a bat in his hand, with a glove on his hand. He is terrific.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, we will see him in the Home Run Derby coming up next Monday. He has said that he will be in that. The Royals come into play today 2 games back of the wild card, third wild card spot in the American League. They trail the Boston Red Sox for that one. The Yankees have fallen. The Yankees are now in a wild card spot. They have been on quite a slide here lately as the Orioles are playing really good baseball. So it's Yankees, Minnesota, and Boston as the 3 teams right now in the wild card race in the American League, with Kansas City and Houston both kind of creeping back there. The Houston Astros started to play really good baseball too this last month of the season. They've been playing good baseball. The Mariners kind of started to play a little less than great baseball, and that's going to be a fun race in the second half in the AOS to see how that evens out.
The Mariners just don't have the offense. I just don't see it. In fact, it shocks me that they got over 500. But you are what your record says you are, but I just don't think it's sustainable. I just don't think their offense is good enough.
Yeah. Cardinals right now, as it stands, 3 games back of the Braves for the top wild card spot in the National League. They are 4 games back of Milwaukee in the American League, or in the National League Central race. So as we start to as we reach, I guess this is game 9. They've already played 90 games now on the season. So we're about that time, 70 some games left in the regular season. Also too, Rammer, I don't know if you saw this last night. So Pittsburgh Pirates, they're in Milwaukee right now. National League All-Star Paul Skeens had one request being in Milwaukee, and the Brewers granted it for them yesterday. He wanted to meet Bob Uecker, and Bob Uecker came down to meet him yesterday prior to the game on the field. So Bob Uecker's still out there doing his thing. He's got to be what, late 80s at this point, right? Or is he?
Well, he's got to be in the 80s. He came up to the big leagues in the early 60s. Yeah.
90. Yeah, no, he turned 90 in January, Rammer.
He's a baseball treasure. There's no question about it. He's his life is a fantastic story, and he's really cool to be around. And that was a neat request by Skeens, and I'm glad he was able to get it done.
There is a shop, Rammer, right down a few doors down from your radio station at 550 that has Bob Uecker Brewers T-shirts for sale. They did not have one in my size when I was there last Friday, so I didn't get one, but they have them there for sale. Uecker, I believe, number 6. Uecker
How about
jerseys
that?
There at the store if you're in the market for that one of these days. Rammer, that's going to do it for our show today. Cardinals off again tomorrow, but we will try to come your way and get a recap of the 2 games today, 12:45, 6:45. It's a day-night doubleheader. Plenty of tickets available for both of those and a lot of deals out there for those as well down here at the stretch run of the first half of 2024. Rammer, we are brought to you each and every day by Munganast St. Louis Acura and also your friends at Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri. You come to Chaffetz Arena, you'll see their signage all over. They really support the community. Us being sports guys, we notice sponsoring local teams, sponsors of all the major sports in the area, all the major colleges, SLU, Mizzou, and much, much more. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking, member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you next time right here on Daily Cards Live.
Munganast St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX, so that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Munganast St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.